Welcome to Matchmaker. How you doing? It's your man Chris Lovers out here. I'm out here with the boy Damoy. How you doing, my guy?
I'm doing fantastic, fantastic. Always ready and happy to support our brother's work.
Oh, hell yeah, man. I really do appreciate that. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of introduce the people to what this is all about. Welcome to the Join Matchmaker Locals podcast. What we are is the Matchmaker podcast. Obviously, we are fresh and fit. We are a fresh match. And then a part of that whole entire ecosystem is the Castle Club. And in the Castle Club, we got myself and we've got Damoy, and we are the brothers out here of the Castle Club in Miami, shouting out every single one of the brothers that we have. Damoy, man, go ahead and tell them who you are, brother.
Thank you for allowing me to express myself. And yeah, my name is Damoy Roberts, 28 years old, and I just joined the Castle Club recently, and I like to say it's been a great experience so far, meeting with brothers. But more importantly, on who I am, I always like to jot down just like five simple things of who I am. I'm a humble person, understanding, direct, loyal, critical thinker, just in a nutshell. Um, Right now, I'm unemployed, but I'm currently looking for employment in cybersecurity. I have an associate degree. I have some certifications, and I'm just looking to break in and handle that. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for right now, off the top of
And
my head.
then if you could give us like a little bit more, like a little bit like age and like where you are right now, currently living.
I'm 28 years old, and I'm living in Broward County, North Lauderdale, Florida.
Hell yeah. So while we're on this topic, let me go ahead and shout some of the people out. Let me say this: right after you and me got off of that call, I think it was. I think I called you one day, and then the next day I called a couple of the brothers from like right after the Zoom call. That very like next moment, I get on the I talked to Tommy Sotomayor, right? And
Oh,
I'm really planting the seeds for Tommy, because like you guys know, I'm pretty good with getting these like connections in like with celebrities and all that, or in
definitely.
this case, YouTubers and influencers, or I guess in Tommy's eyes, he's like a spokesperson, a radio man.
Yeah,
And planting the seeds like, hey man, we need your knowledge, we need your wisdom in this group. So I'm trying to parlay that over from there over here.
yeah,
So shout out to Tommy Sotomayor, shout out to Donovan Sharp, shout out to Chris Crone. We just recently got a chance to talk with him. And then of course, shout out to each and every one of the brothers. I'm not gonna leave anybody out, man. Let me go through the list here.
no, feel free.
So shout out to Damoy, Cedric, Sergey, Leon, Jay the Car Guy, Andy, Chase, Bruno, Ruben, Drude, Elan, Manuel, Julio, OG, aka Charlie, or no, Charlie, and then OG, Drew, Luisca, Beck. Shout out to Beck. We remember Beck and all the watches and stuff, right?
Yes, sir.
Mikey, Brad, Pablo, Jocasta, Ariel, Carlos, of course, Carlos, he's got a bunch of things going on. Steve, Jonathan, Matt, Fresh, Bison, Cherry, Myron, DL Saint. Shout out to DL Saint. I got a podcast with you coming soon, brother. Jonathan, Ryan, Infinite Slick, James. And then, of course, I got to shout out to the entire Fresh and Fit team making all of this like happen and stuff. So shout out Myron, shout out Fresh, shout out Aaron, bro. Aaron, shout out my brother. We got cool things coming soon. Jay Bills, shout out. Mo, shout out. And then, of course, the sweet staff with the ladies. We got Icy. Shout out to you, Icy. We got Melissa, Adri, and I believe the new girl's name is Jen. So shout out to the entire family. Shout out to the entire team. Shout out to everybody. We got so many things working on right now, man.
Yes, sir. Y'all never failed.
So, before I talk a little bit about Matchmaker and what it means to me and what I'm doing with that, tell me what you've seen of a fresh match and anything in that relation to what you know so far.
So I feel like I watched like two of those fresh match, not like start to finish, but I've seen enough. But I definitely think it's a good like exposure to the outside populace because they think fresh and fit they bring on like these kind of crazy kind of girls and they think it's all like a setup whatever like that. So I think it's a good show to like show people like how girls like actually like choose and choose and not choose a certain person to like date or interact with.
100%. I'm going to ask you two questions. Well, let me put it like this. Why do you think people are not matching up? And let me also ask you, like, if you think that people are not matching up, right, the way that they should be in today's time, where have you also seen that maybe in your life in comparison to where you expect it to be at this point in time?
So I guess I'll answer my part first. So the reason why I'm myself am not matching up with people is because excuse me, is because I'm focused on really getting the bag right now. Because what I've learned from like Fresh and Fit is that you have to be a certain kind of guy if you want like a certain kind of woman. So I'm more focused on that part first, and then women later. So that's the the part for me. But why I would think people are not matching up, if I could just hit like some quick points, I would say social media. Women get like a bad like outlook on life and like how they think they should be. Um, People are not realistic. Men are kind of scared to go out and talk. Um, Obviously, women want equal or better, and since more women are getting paid higher than men nowadays, it's kind of harder for them to kind of respect regular people.
Yes, yes, it is. Why don't you go on to a little bit more of that mindset that you were just talking about, right? You were just basically saying that women get like a bad impression or a bad mentality or a bad message through social media. Tell me what you think that is. What is that message that they're getting, and how is it applied in real life?
So I would think if I was a woman, right? Let's try to step in their shoes a little bit. If I was a woman, I go on Instagram and I see a bunch of like pictures and videos of girls living their dream and stuff like that. And let's start from the beginning. Let's say I see like one or two. I might think, okay, that's just a one-off kind of thing. But now every day I'm seeing three, four, five, tens of videos every day, tens of pictures of girls on trips and stuff like that in Miami, wherever extravagant place they're going to be. They're going to be like, oh, since it's so much more women like this, I can get this too. So when they start thinking like that, then they start thinking like those same, they start thinking in that materialistic mindset. And they're going to be like, you know what, I want that kind of life too. And if I can't get that life, then I'm not going to settle. That's kind of how I would imagine if I was a woman.
And in comparison, right? You're basically saying, and I'm just going to kind of sum it up. They're basically getting exposure to a high life, right? Almost like a facade life, almost like a. But people are really living that life. But the life in and of itself, like the high exposure, high end, high luxury life, where people are spending a lot of money on this girl, and people are in her mind, her it's going to her head, and her status is being raised in her mind, right? And her ego is being raised with it. They're only posting highlights on Instagram, and then like right after that you go back to real life for most people, right? And with them doing that, they're not realizing that they're disqualifying that youthful purity experience of a man who actually wants to be with them and give them a real relationship in the real world. Again, back to reality.
Right.
So because you're saying that they keep getting exposed to this type of media on the internet, and women are absorbing it as reality, not just a highlighted piece of reality, right? What do you think it should be by comparison? Or what was the mentality, or what did it used to be? And tell me what you think about that.
So I believe the mentality should be finding a good man that fits your beliefs and can pretty much just be a stand-up provider male, a strong male, hardworking male. I feel like that should be the goal of a woman, because obviously they're gonna want the best they can get, right? But there's not that many people. Let's say in the rich category, there's not that many men in the rich category, so you're gonna have to get to like the average. But not saying the average is bad. Like the average could be like, let's say 50, 60K guy per year. Is he hardworking? Is he strong? Is he does he believe in what he believes, what he thinks? Is he a man of action? You know what I'm saying? Is he willing to provide? Is he willing to die for you? Um, I feel like that's the values that a woman should look for.
Do you feel like, in your honest to God opinion, right? Being that I know some of your background, would you say most men fit that mold?
No, not at all.
How many, like in a percentage, do you think fit like the like like if most men were confronted with a woman, right? How many of them in a percentage do you think would be apt to wanting or being a provider?
So the provider that I'm talking about is definitely not like a 50-50 kind of man. A man is at least, 80-20.
Mm-hmm.
If I just had to guess, I would say maybe 30%. 30%
You
of
think
men
30%
actually,
of all the
30%.
damn, damn. All right, so you're so basically, right, what we're saying is that if you're doing this 80-20, 80% of it, the dude is getting that money from his work or other side hustles and assets and things like that. And then the 20% is probably like her and like her family and just kind of like in that relationship kind of thing. That's just kind
Right.
of like real life kind of scenario there, right?
Yeah.
And you're saying out of 100% of men in America, only 30% you think are apt to do that, and the other 80 or the other 70 are just like jerking off doing nothing.
Right, because I
Doing
feel
nothing.
like s- out of those 30%, like some people like not actively have that mindset. Like some people they're probably able to do it, but they just don't have like the mindset of, hey, I want this out of myself and I want this out of my woman. They actually have the resources. They actually have the guys that actually have the resources. They're not of our mindset. Some are blue pill, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by 30%.
Yeah, whoa, dude. Like that's a whole different thing. You and me are on a whole different level, bro. Like
Right.
that's a whole different tier. And I totally understand that because like me, given that I've had talk to you, and I know you're a hustler. I know I actually know like things about you enough to know that you're gonna get the whole providership done. I know that you're gonna make that shit happen. And
Well,
now I'm gonna actually parlay this part of the conversation into what we were talking about before. If for everyone that's watching right now, I went ahead and sent Damoy a video that is very, very impactful. It's about demoralization in America. And Damoy's probably not wrong about their 70% of men just not being apt or capable, even though I do believe they are hardwired to want to. Even though, I do believe that they really want to. I believe that in most scenarios that if you were to put a man in a protector situation with the girl, he would automatically fall into protecting the woman. I think that's very biological trait.
right.
So, my brother, tell me how you think, based on what we're talking about, right? Social media giving girls the wrong message, guys not necessarily wanting to go and be what they need to be. How do you think demoralization applies to all of this today?
Well, in the terms of getting women, it's highly prevalent because, like I said, girls want equal or above, and they're kind of like a little bit delusional of what they actually want. So when a guy's like, man, if they're not of our mindset of going after it, they're gonna like, man, I can't really get this kind of woman. So they're gonna be like, all right, if I can't do it, then you f it. I'll just, do what I can, and they go below their standards. What they want is something they can't achieve because they don't believe in themselves. So they're kind of like demoralized in that sense. And
The
it's
men or the women?
the men
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
because they're seeing what the women want. To them, they think that they can't provide it, so they get demoralized in a sense where, damn, the woman I kind of want, I can't really never get. So let me just settle for something that I don't really want. It could be like a fat woman. It could be like a bossy woman because most women are like kind of like 50-50. I mean, most women are able to provide a 50-50 scenario since they make more, right? So they may not want that, but that's something that they're gonna have to deal with.
So you're saying, straight up, the majority of men have a low self-esteem beat into them.
Right,
Just
exactly.
and I mean, even though we have a community, a red pill group, I've told you that in my opinion, the younger brothers don't even know their value yet, and it's up to us to push it out of them. To let
Right,
them see that even though I'm saying the words and you're hearing it and it sounds good, and reality does not reinforce what I'm saying, you have to believe it so much so that it becomes reality.
right. It's all in the mindset. Mindset is will set you free from a lot of things.
Brother, which institutions do you think are making these brothers feel such a low morale, low self-esteem? Where is this coming from?
Definitely the tech industries, the ones that control like the media, Yeah, I'll say the industries that control the media, definitely, because they have the power to like send out their message in ways that you probably wouldn't even imagine. You're probably just thinking, oh, it's just another day in the life, but it's really, a programming scheme. I think personally.
Yeah, man. Like I now kind of summarize it in this way, just to make it super quick. Like back in the MK Ultra days, now today there's like so many various forms of MK Ultra through the airwaves, through the algorithm, through the society, through the talking. It's just like that type of programming is everywhere, right? So if we're gonna
Yeah,
put it in terms of like the tech industry and their ability to bombard a human mind with content or social settings or fake scenarios or implied scenarios or psychological operations to the point where the people are demoralized, it's effectively working.
no, it's definitely working, and I feel like it'll peer over into the next generation because like they'll see, like for example, kids will see like how the men of today act, like how low self-esteem they are, and they won't have like no proper role model unless they find guys like Fresh and Fit, Andrew Tate, all these kind of guys. They'll already be geared towards that demoralization mindset. Some men might be told like, hey, women are just gold diggers, and they want a certain type of man, and you'll never be that certain type of man because it's so hard as a man to achieve that. So then it keeps the men weak. It keeps the men not wanting to like achieve anything like greater, and it's just like I believe it's like a far deeper problem than we can see right now.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that far deeper problem, but right before we get into that, I want to ask you how you think demoralization affects women today.
I feel like demoralization affects women later on in their life because as they get older, it gets harder for them to get what they actually want in terms of like relationships. So when they get to that point, then when they get to that point, it's going to be hard for them to like come back and actually get what they want because we need men and women together to be a family, right? And then a
Mm-hmm.
family unit is going to be like the backbone of any society. So to get to that goal of having a family unit, it becomes harder and harder as they age, and then they get demoralized and they start to, get bitter. And they might be bitter. That bitterness might be taught to their kids, if they become single moms or whatever like that. And then that's just not a good thing for children growing up, having that bitterness, indirectly, learn taught to them.
You know what? I'm also gonna like add to what you're saying there, and I'm gonna talk about demoralization in that context for men and women in terms of money too. What I'm gonna say is that let's pretend that this is an egg, right? And the egg is the woman. Basically, these young women are cracked with wanting to be a digital prostitute, and all the value of money is just coming out of them so young because women are born with value, right?
Right.
So basically, these young, beautiful women are being cracked open with demoralization because of all the things that they're seeing online, and the money is spewing out of them from like ages 18 to 20 to 28 or whatever. But then by the time that they're reaching the ages that you're talking about, they have money but nothing. And now for the men, like I told you in a conversation that we were having, you can call ahead of time in these places and call about pay packages. So what I have come to learn from a big macroeconomic, big thinking level is that all of these companies, these corporate companies that you were just talking about, absolutely understand how to keep men specifically on a very low pay package, pay drip, right? Just a little bit of drip to keep the men alive, while simultaneously encouraging girls to be prostitutes, and in the same industries paying the women more and
Right.
paying homosexuals more and the gay LGBT community more. I've seen that. I've witnessed that, right?
Right.
So they make sure that their political groups have all the money, and they make sure the girls have all the money, and the men are walking around with the lowest self-esteem of all time because they're constantly on YouTube, they're constantly online, they're constantly on the internet looking for a way to make more money, as if this is the fix to their self-worth. Which it is important for a man to have money, absolutely.
Right.
But in terms of morale, these things are not one and the same. Does help though, but it's not the same.
Right, and this isn't happening by accident. This is clearly purposeful to keep men at like a low kind of state and empower women to a state that doesn't benefit them. It goes both ways. It empowering women so high that it doesn't benefit them, and keeping men so low, well, that obviously doesn't benefit them. It's definitely by purpose.
And who do you think is doing that in this country? And for what reason would this country be going through that so clearly?
Definitely them boys. Definitely them boys. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. It looks like we're all starting to wake up to this. Is clearly a red pill brother like yourself is going to get this at a quick pace. And keep in mind, there's going to be people that are learning when they watch this.
Right.
But it seems like them boys or a clear set of people have went out of their way to promote immorality and form demorality and turn our country topsy turvy. Now you and me are dealing with the mess of this, right?
Yeah.
Because even though you and me are of a certain mindset, which is, if I had to put it on a scale, I wouldn't say that we're traditional, but we're a lot closer to traditional than non-traditional, right?
Yeah.
And the reason I don't say traditional, I guess, because at this moment people use that word to describe like perfect. That's insane. Like perfect everything. And I don't think growing up in Florida, we have lived a perfect life, but we are damn close to, like, again, like I said, traditional more than non. And that's also in our hardwiring as men. I guarantee you, if we were to give like a equivalent thing to a girl becoming a hoe, a digital prostitute, dudes are not becoming digital pimps. You know what I mean? Dudes are very much wired for traditionalism. They're very much wired for, like, well, I'm gonna go give this girl the best of my nobility, the best of my love, and that's our natural wiring. Like, even me, dude, I'll be honest, I love girls. I fucking love women. Like, when I see them in groups, or just the one or whatever, I love them. I want to cuddle them and be kind and give them the best of my warmth and my warm nature. In my particular life, with my experiences, I know how to do that. I know how to dish it out. I know when and where it belongs. But the 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 warmer side of my masculine nature or my male nature to love the women is very much there. So I can only imagine in a dude who doesn't have any of these wherewithals, any of these firewalls, any of these checkpoints and balances set up. He's just getting, if you're blue pilled, he's getting taken advantage of in every possible way. And it starts with the mind, because America, as we've come to kind of talk about right now, has a bunch of institutions set up to lie to you, and they don't mind. So you basically started as a deficit as a dude. You basically start young. You go to school. School is lying to you. Every fucking class is lying to you, right? In my particular case, I say this as somebody who has degrees and certificates, and in my study and my practice, and the more that I've learned in life, I learned that social studies, math class, English class, all of these fucking classes, they had some fundamentals that you need, but like in general, they spent more time lying to the point where the academic world does not match the real world at all. And then on top of that, let's talk about like in the streaming world and the social media world. Well, I've met like Jack Doherty and all these people, right? If you don't know Jack Doherty, don't worry, it's because you're older. He's like for the younger crowd, right?
Yeah.
But he's like influencer that will have to sell a parody reality, where the girls are selling their OnlyFans, right? So they don't even live a real life on the internet. They have to create like a parallel world where like the girls say stupid crazy shit, like a bunch of clickbaiting things. Like they'll take something like this and say, man, I only like a guy with 6 inches, or something like that, right? Like something of a parody mindset. So the world that they're putting their time and their craft and their energy into is complete bullshit, and the person consuming it is consuming complete bullshit. So all we're ending up with is a big pile of shit. And that is a problem because it is working, right? It's working.
Yeah.
There is
Definitely.
people that believe in the shit, or there's people that feel demoralized, especially if they're blue pill. They believe this is real. So, like, there's two contexts in which I can speak about this, right? You know, back in the early 2000s, 2005 and shit, you know, a record label, a big cool record label would have like all the Lamborghinis and all the mansions and shit, and that means that my record label is better than your record label. We really have this performance to the world. We have all these things to the world. We have all these things to show the world that mine is better than yours. And in business, that's fucking cool.
Right.
And then over the years, even though today in the year 2024, this is not the time for anyone of any money to buy a Lamborghini, right? It's just not the time because these super luxury assets are not paying off or holding their weight. They're more of a black hole than anything from every Lamborghini owner I know. So the point is that this big luxury life is the life that is dangling in front of everyone's mind. And that life, it parodies off into many different things. It parodies off into the luxury home life, luxury car life, luxury women life. And it's chasing an old dream. I'm literally speaking as a rapper. I'm a producer. I'm an artist. I've put out albums. I can spit bars. I can go in. Like I told you, 50 was a mentor to me. And even with that, I know in real life, this shit is not matching up, so it doesn't matter, right? I know that those luxury things are fun and flashy, but they're a moment in time, and then in real life, I got real responsibilities. I got real things I really got to handle. I got real people to meet up with. I really have to talk to people. I really got to get on the phone. And if you want to be a man, you really need to do real work, right? You really need to have connections. You really need to put the time in. You really need to build a brotherhood. You really need to build the connections. You have to do real things. So I'm going to pass this conversation to you in terms of some of these real things, because like I said in the bullet points that I gave you there, right? We're talking about some of the matchmaker. We're talking about some of the love. I want to talk about real love that you've gone through in your life, right? Real relationships that you might have been in and what that looked like in terms of health, wealth, love, happiness. Real stuff, you know? And then, yeah, let's just talk about that before I ask you more questions. Tell me about like some real experiences that you've been through.
So I guess I would have maybe like one like real experience that's good for this because I haven't been in too much relationships. I'll say if I can count it, maybe like five like real relationships. But my last one, I was actually married, and I've been married for about 3 years before I got divorced, and I really love this woman, but obviously she wasn't the right one for me. But everything that we've taught, even before I met Fresh and Fit, I've kind of already been on the mindset of I want to provide for this woman. I want to give her a better life because I seen that she had like a bad relationship with her mother, and I didn't take note of that at the time. And I'm like, man, this girl is nice. She's beautiful. She's funny. She's whatever. I want to give her the best life. And the first part, she said I was too what do you call it? You know when you're stuck on someone so much, clingy. She said I was too clingy, and pretty much it didn't work out from that. So I was like, all right, fine. I thought I was doing the right thing, showing love and giving my time to this woman, but that didn't work. We came back after I was going to the army, and I was like, hey, if you want to do this thing, we're gonna have to, we can get married and be together, on posts and stuff like that. And in Korea, well, while I was in Korea, because I went off to Korea, then we had that talk, so I had to come back down to like marry her. So during that time, I was like, we can be girlfriends and boyfriends and see how it goes like a year later if we still want to do this. So I would talk to her, and everything like that, and everything was fine. I came back down. I said what I promised her. I said, I'm going to marry you. I'm going to take you out of your mom's place. We're going to go and you're going to come live with me. And mind you, no time that we were married, she was ever paying any bills whatsoever. She was never paying rent, nothing like that.
So who the fuck gets to call you clingy?
Right, and this was before I even met Fresh and Fit, so I was already doing this. I didn't have a car at the time because I went to basic training in Korea. We couldn't use cars, so when I came back, if I wasn't going to marry her, I was going to get a car because I was going to save money. But I'm like, no, I have a wife, and there's certain things I have to do as a husband. So I I got a car, no issue. We drove from Florida to Oklahoma, which is like a 20-hour drive. I didn't make her drive the car not once. Not because she couldn't drive, just because it was like I'm the man and I need to be the one, doing this trip for her. To keep her cool in the passenger seat and stuff like that. But yeah, so at one time we were talking and I was like, hey, I thought you said you were gonna, look about getting this job. And she was taking a little minute. Now, if I had the fresh and fit mindset before, I wouldn't have worried about that because I would have been like, this is 100% my responsibility financially. But I wasn't of that mindset yet. So pretty much, I was kind of talking to her, kind of starting like, hey, we need to get this done and stuff like that. And long story short, she took it to heart and she left. Like she went down to Florida and she never came back. And then after I left from Oklahoma, because she was still my wife, I believed in marriage like a lot. Like I didn't want to like give up. So when I came back down to Florida, tried it, still didn't work. A whole bunch of nonsense, like cheating was involved, and I was willing to look past it like an idiot, right? So then after I got disrespected enough, I left because I was living in her mom's place just for a little bit. Not because I didn't have my own money, just because I was trying to see where me and her will live. So I was just staying at her mom's place just for the time being. I definitely had the money to just go out and get an apartment. But after I've been disrespected enough by like, the cheating that she's been doing and the lying and the disrespect, I'm here where I'm at now. And then I believe I want to get like my hair cut and she's like a hairstylist and stuff like that. So I was like, why not? They'll just cut my hair and leave because it was like a short notice kind of event I had to go to. And pretty much we hit it off a little bit. She told me where she was wrong. And when I had to do fresh and fit mindset, I told her like, hey, if you're gonna be with me, these are the kind of things that you're gonna have to do. These are the kind of rules. And if you can't follow these rules, just let me know and then we can just end it off. It's like not an issue. And then it was going good for about 6 months. And then a certain issue arose and I was trying to talk to her about it because I'm a very direct person and she's not. And when she was answering me, it sounded like she wasn't very caring of what I was saying, and I took that as disrespect. So I was like, "Look, I'm trying to talk to you nice. You said you didn't want me to do certain things. I stopped doing it, but I need this respect from you." And pretty much in her conversation, she was saying, "At this point, Damoy, I'm gonna have to put myself before you." So that's when I told her, I'm like, if you do that, this relationship's not going to work because you definitely have to love me. You definitely have to put me ahead of you, right? And not just because like I'm some selfish person or something like that, but it's because if you're making sure I'm always good, you're obviously going to be taken care of just indirectly, just automatically, right? So that was kind of my thinking. And then she said, well, no, I'm going to put myself over you. So then I told her, all right, so you got to leave. And then yeah, that happened for a little bit. I tried to get her back, just because I understand she's a woman and she doesn't understand things the way how I see it. And I probably could have done a better job explaining certain things to her. So I tried to get her back after the fact. But yeah, it didn't work. But so that was that. And I really love that woman. I was really able to deal with like a lot of bullshit for that woman. Just in the name of marriage. If she was my girlfriend and she was doing all that crap, then I wouldn't have done it. But just in the name of marriage and just not giving up. And when it comes to, God is till death do his part. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I was. But now I've learned better, and I guess yeah, that was my story on love.
So
But
that was a very, very deep story. And I want you to know, people are going to be learning from this deep story. You're literally going to be telling, this is going to help some other brother in a whole other way just see things that he might not know. You're literally you're giving them the fireball,
you're right, because
So,
I definitely think I've been through the worst of it with her, really, because I try to stick through it. Like I said, I've dealt with a lot of cheating. I've dealt with a lot of disrespect. It's not, and I knew she was doing it too. I talked to her. I kind of like understood a little bit where she came from. So I was trying to still like, try to talk to her and figure things out. Didn't work at all. So yeah, I tried to be rigid through the process. Just did not work. But now,
so go ahead.
sorry, lastly, but now going forward, I know how to properly bring up my expectations to the next woman. It's be like, hey, this is kind of what I want um, out of you. This is what I want from a family. This is what I expect from a family and stuff like that. So I definitely appreciate her for just giving me the experience of knowing what I don't want. I know how to act with certain emotional women.
So let me ask you this, right? And again, people are learning. In your time that you were with that individual girl, right?
Yeah.
Do you now, looking back, see any points in time where you could point out that she was demoralized or brainwashed? And then, like, how did that, at that time, that version of Damoy,
Oh,
how did that make you feel?
brother, most definitely brainwashed. I told you the time that she was with me, she never had to pay a bill, not one time. But she was all about, nursing and getting a job, which I was fine with. But I was like, look, you don't have to work. If you just support me in what I'm doing and help me get to a certain spot. Obviously, I'm gonna try to get there by myself, but if you're supposed to be my I want to say support system. Um, you're
That's
supposed to just
exactly
pretty
what
much
the girl is supposed
amplify,
to do. You should
like,
do something.
just amplify like like my life, what I'm already doing, and then
Yeah.
because I was trying to give her a stress-free life. That's what I was trying to do, but she was stuck on doing certain things and stuff like that, which is fine. But I feel like she missed where the part that she had to do, because I asked her to do very simple things like wash the dishes, don't like try not to go to bed without the dishes being in the sink, clean up the bedroom. And it's not like I'll tell her this every day. I would tell her and I would let it be. But very simple things that she wouldn't, well, it's not that she wouldn't do, that she couldn't do. And she would focus on her time either on school or going out helping her family, which is fine, but she didn't understand that her duties to her husband first. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I definitely see how she could have been brainwashed. She definitely was brainwashed because she didn't understand the basic principles of a man and woman relationship, especially in the terms of marriage. Even though I was giving it to her, I would tell her, "Look, I just need you to do such and such," and that's pretty much it.
So, like, in terms of, let's say, Christianity, right? The
Yeah,
time that you give that woman before you marry her, that is literally called sanctification. That's literally what that is. It's literally that's why we all naturally do that. It's like you don't instantly marry the chick. You don't meet her and just give it to her.
right.
That time between point A and point B, you're sanctifying this girl, which means giving her the individual opportunity and understanding that this love is to be amplified. Every time that I give you something, you're supposed to be amplifying that back to me. So in a real normal relationship, you should be able to give the girl something and she gives you 10 times back what that natural thing is that you're giving her. In this situation, it seems like the more that you gave, it was like a black hole, you know? So the person that you were then, the reason I'm asking this question is about morality and self-esteem and stuff versus who you are today. You're putting all this time and effort into it. How did you feel at that time when it wasn't working out and she's during that process,
Yeah. So keep in mind when I'm speaking these things, you might think of it like in a fast time frame, but let's think of it like to day by day basis, right?
like a death by 1,000 cuts?
Right. Yeah. So it's not like every day there was an issue. It just slowly built up some stuff. But me, I'm always the person that could look past like a bad day. Like let's say me and you as brothers, right? We have an argument. If I wake up the next day, bro, we're still cool. You know what I'm
Was
saying?
she like that?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Was she like that though?
No, not at all. Because she was
Rudy,
slowly
you're
she
a
was
really you're a you're like from the girls that I know, you're the kind of partner they'd be seeking just off that.
right. So like she would slowly like keep things festering in her head. And over time, that would I wouldn't say it would blow up, but it would just like manifest itself. And I would have known like, all right, she's still, thinking about whatever. And she's not seeing past like, the big picture. So like I always like to tell you about. Like, yeah, there could be a couple of issues, but the big picture is like what? You have mind you, she has a kid that wasn't mine, and I was taking care of that kid too. She's not thinking like, yo, this guy, he's providing for me, He's making sure there's food in the fridge. Anytime I need something, I can ask, and he'll give it. She's not seeing that stuff. So yeah.
So like, I'll tell you this, man. If I was being disrespected like that, I think that I would feel like heartbroken. I think I would feel, even though I'm able to like get over it, I would feel resentful. I feel so disrespected. I couldn't understand what's going on. You know what I mean? Because like when you're in it, you're as a dude, you're pretty much in that alone. Like I don't know dudes that naturally reach out to other dudes about their relationship without like feeling like a bitch. Or even if you can do that, your homeboy probably say get rid of the bitch, and if you're not doing that, you're just in a messy situation, you know. But the reason I say that to say these things is that so much development has happened between then and now, right? Like the Damoy of then and the Damoy of today, and the Council Club and the Fresh and Fit and all the things that we talked about.
Yeah.
And the conversations that you've had with me, especially in the context of Matchmaker, we're looking to find some solutions, brother.
Most
And
definitely.
I need that big picture thinking today.
Oh,
I
yeah.
really need you. I really need you to lay the game on me, brother. Like, tell me, what are some of these solutions that we could do to help these younger generations of people dealing with morality, dealing with these institutions, dealing with the lies, dealing with the social media, dealing with not even looking at a man in the face with any sort of respect whatsoever. Bro, if this was a deck of 52 cards, every one of the cards is about to explode on you, brother. Like, the game is rigged. How do we solve it for the next generation, or any version of people that are looking to really move forward, secure their mating strategy, and have the American dream? It's very similar to yourself here.
So that's a very important question. I thank you for asking me that, because solutions is a thing of men. So the more we can be solution oriented, the better men can be. But I would have to say it definitely starts with getting a grasp of what masculinity is. I feel like I'm a person that likes to. I want to say I like to defer to biology. If it's not something natural of me, I don't want to do it. Right. So why do I say that? It's natural of me to want to protect. It's natural of me to want to provide, to be the stronger person. Right. So I feel like that's like the basis you have to start thinking on. Next, if your father is not already teaching you what you need to be doing as a man, and that's going to be a lot common because there's a lot of single mothers out there, right? I would say you have to actively seek information on how to be that masculine person, whether you look up Fresh and Fit, whether you like Andrew Tate or any other person, and then you just have to be real with yourself. After you listen to these guys or you get like a kind of idea, you ask yourself, is this what I actually want to be? Do I actually want to be a man, right? And if the answer is yes, then what are the steps to that? You got to be willing to fail, and not you have to be not you have to not be scared to fail, because that's how you learn. You learn a lot from failures. Um, you want to be a strong man, so go to the gym. A strong mind, strong body, strong mind kind of mindset. Um, you can't be fearful of certain things, because that's just not of men to be scared. And uh, and yeah, just live, be real with yourself.
The,
If you know within yourself, because this is how I, judge myself. If you know within yourself that you would be ashamed or you wouldn't like what you're doing, then don't do it.
the
So,
fact that you have to like say that they need to seek masculinity is mind blowing. That means that there's such a lack of masculinity that they don't even have. It's empty. It's gone.
brother, because
So
and
that
and
means that they're not getting it from their fathers for sure. But even the fathers have nowhere to get it either.
and just real quick, back to the demoralization topic. Masculinity is slowly getting programmed out. So the kids, so the men, so the boys now that are growing up, they're going to be growing up without knowing what true masculinity is. You know what I'm saying? So that's a problem. So um, when you realize what you want to be as a man, and you grind to become a respectable man, a man that's on his way to financial freedom, stuff like that, you're able to lead a woman, you're able to lead children, and you're able to teach your boy children how to actually be men. And That's how I think we could slowly bring it back. It definitely starts in the home, but we have to have strong men first. We have to have strong men getting the women. The strong men have to get the women pregnant so they can create strong men. If we have weak men getting women pregnant, that's gonna result to more weak men. You understand?
And then the
So
women
us,
themselves aren't always the
so
best
us as
candidates.
men
You have to be very
first.
selective.
Sorry, say it again.
I said, and in for the strongmen, it's not even like the women are the best pool of candidates, so you have to be extremely selective. Like it's a lifestyle.
Right. So as men, you also need to. Community is a great thing. Brotherhood is an amazing thing because you're gonna have like-minded guys that understand the masculine struggle, that are masculine, and we can teach our children together as a community. You can teach your kids something, but obviously the world is also going to teach your children something. If you have a community of men, or like if your kid is happen to be by your friend like a barbecue, you can ensure that nothing ever nothing is nothing ever is going to go wrong with your kid, and that your brother might be able to teach something that you might necessarily overlooked, and it'll be within that frame of masculinity, trying to make that boy better. Like if when your brother see your kid fall, he's not gonna try to baby him up. He's gonna be like, man, get up. You're all right. Don't cry. Don't worry about it. Stuff like that. You can trust your brothers to be like that in the community and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's man, when I really think about it, masculinity is it sounds easy, but it's really a life of a man is very difficult, right? I think us men, we have to embrace that. Like, no one's gonna care about you unless you're providing. You know, Men were blessed with hard lives because if we persevere and get through that tough times, at the end result is very rewarding. You'll have money, you'll have status, you'll have fitness. You can get women, you can get the right woman, right? And you'll have the correct family. And then when you have the correct family, and your other brothers are doing the same thing, and they're doing the same thing as you, you'll build a community. And then once you have a community, then you'll have actual power.
Hell yeah, brother. Let me tell you this. I love what you're saying because before this happened, that is how I was coming into this. For me, I know for sure masculinity in and of itself, it starts with worshiping God. I know that. I know that all the testosterone, all the chromosomes, everything. I know that the most masculine thing you could do is worship God. And in turn, the love that you get multiplies your life faster more than I can ever explain. I've been on conversations. Like I think I was on the phone, Zoom with Brother Chase. I think you were there too, where I told him I'm in screaming matches sometimes on the phone with these older people because of their weakness, because of how weak that they were. I'm the one who has to be strong for it. I tell them that. I tell these fucking boomers, bro. Every time that you didn't go and handle stuff in the politician's office, anytime that you didn't care about these institutions in school, anytime that you didn't fight the lies, anytime that you just let it be television and you sat there and you did fucking nothing, I'm picking up the shit now because there's a bunch of weak people and all that we have left, thank God, is this brotherhood. Because in terms of solutions, when you have, especially women, very programmable, very, very worried about what everybody else is thinking, and they see an entire brotherhood and they feel, which is what I wanted the dating community, matchmaker communities, brotherhood community to be, when they feel the social pressures of other brothers doing these things, especially borrowing habits from somebody like me, they're going to feel like they have to conform and absolutely under that conforming be pressured to really be feminine. They have no choice but to be
Yeah,
feminine because of so much masculinity.
exactly. And that's how life was designed. You know, a woman stays in her feminine, a man stays in her feminine, and we bring it together, and then we make life, and that's just how it is. Like the Bible says it. I think what's the good word for it? The word escapes me, but yeah, I think everyone has a natural instinct to be in their proper masculine or feminine side. It's just society kind of just like making he's like they're like blurring the lines between what a man should do and what a woman should do. And I don't see like why there's an issue with a woman doing a certain thing when it comes to femininity, and like a man doing there are certain things to femininity, because that's how we're wired, that's how we're born. I know a woman would never jump in front of a bullet for me, but I will definitely do it for a woman that I love. So, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Femininity is precious, man. In 2012, when The Dark Knight Rises, the Batman movie, was playing, a shooter came into one of those movie theaters, and the men died with bullets in their back because they jumped on top of the women. That was their natural instinct, bro.
And
Hardwired in us.
just like the firefighter at the Trump rally, stand up man right there, jumped in front of a bullet to save his family. And
Bro, I'm getting goosebumps. That's the most common, and not for nothing, but I'm just like on a baseline. That's the most common average man.
right. And she chose the right man. It was a common average man, and guess what? That common average man had no issues risking
Being
his
a
life
fucking hero.
to save his woman and children.
Because he knows that's what he needs to do. He knows that's why he was here. In
Right.
his last moments, in his truest self, in his realest form, he knew what he had to do.
And that's the thing, when women get kind of like icky about average men, but there's nothing wrong with that. I'm pretty sure he was providing for his family that was definitely satisfactory, just for like a basic living, right? Because we don't really need much as a human beings, right? We have all this convenience and stuff like that, but a couple years back, we didn't have any of this stuff, right? And people were still living just fine.
And what we are calling average, if you would take if society would take these words, top notch, 1% average, and all that shit off, you take it off, or a female should be able to see that the earth is abundant. It's not just average, it's abundant with these men. It's so abundant with these men that there is no lack. It's all deception on television. They demonize human beings and then humanize demons on TV. You know what I mean? It's just insanity that we're going through in terms of programming. Without the programming, life, just like you were saying, is quite eloquent. It is quite beautiful. It is quite abundant. And we do not need too much to live. You don't need a fucking mansion with 10 homes. You don't need 5 Lamborghinis. I'll tell you what, bro. You get yourself a truck. You put yourself a cooler in there so you can go to the beach. You have a home with you and your family. All the food's taken care of. Everyone's got internet. Life is pretty sweet right there, man.
Brother,
just right there with the basics.
Listen, where I really learned that we don't really need much to survive. I was in the desert for an entire month doing training in the army, bro. I mean, I was sleeping like on a cot on top of sand, bro. No phone, no nothing like that. We had basic 3 meals a day, but it definitely wasn't the most extravagant of meals, and we were all able to survive, men and women there. We only had us. We could talk to each other. We were doing our daily tasks and stuff like that. So now when I come back to the real world, civilization, like I was already a frugal person, but being in that scenario enhanced my frugality. And I'm frugal not because I'm penny pinching. I'm frugal to this point because I know most people, when they get their paychecks and stuff like that, they buy a whole bunch of liabilities instead of buying assets. So I'm trying to stack up my paychecks, buy more assets so my assets can pay off my liabilities, and then I can get to financial freedom like that. So I can obviously, do more things on top of that. I can express my masculinity more because, at a certain point, I'll be more of a guy than I am now, right? I'll be able to, get the type of woman I want, the family what I want, and then people will see that, right? Especially with the Castle Club, they'll see that, be like, man, who is that guy? They'll see me as a guy from like a Castle Club, and
leading by example.
Because if I'm like that, I'm expecting all my brothers to be like that too. So when we go out and stuff like that, people like, yo, who are those guys? I'm gonna be like, we're Castle Club members, and then they'll ask more questions, they'll inquire what we're about and stuff like that, and some guys will probably be like, man, I've always thought this, but I didn't know people actually thought like I do, and then we could bring them on, whatever. and then we can start getting this community going.
So here at Matchmaker, there's a belief. There's a belief that I hold near and dear, that the women that we select for, just like those assets, multiply and amplify. And for each and every woman that you have, these individuals multiply the F out of your life.
Right. And just real quick, I even want to, I just thought of something, right? We're upstanding men, right? We get a certain woman, right? Obviously, she has good values and stuff like that, right? She's obviously going to be learning from us because we might have to like deprogram them just a little bit, and their life will multiply just off of our work, right? They'll be living in a state of peace where they can be happy, raise their children, and have a healthy life, right? When women like that go out and they meet other women, who knows? They'll probably like be able to explain their experience to those women, and those women will be like, "Man, that's actually what I really want. I just want to really chill, support a man, having kids. I want to be taken care of." Generally, I feel like all women want to be taken care of. So they'll meet
100%.
our women. They'll see our women are good people. They don't have to do certain, let's just say, slutty things, to get attention. They have a good man, right? They're like, "Man, I thought I had to be an OnlyFans girl, or I thought I had to like go get the bag to find a great man." But this woman, she has it all, and she's doing, what I thought was good back in the day. So that's how we could probably change women. It all starts with masculinity, bro.
100%. And then with it as an individual, right? Like for me, for example, right? I've been in scenarios where I have the girls, or let's say like a girlfriend and some dogs or whatever, right? And I've also seen like other dudes' houses at different points in time, right? So I remember this one encounter. I walk into this dude's house. He has no masculinity whatsoever. His girl is disrespecting him, and he doesn't realize it, right? I walk into his house. His house is a mess. The dogs are doing whatever they want to do. The girls doing whatever they want to do. The TV's going off and shit, like just craziness, right? And there was no discipline. Really, keep in mind, you're a military dude. I know you're pissed off at what I'm saying, like, right? So, like, for me, on the other hand, hold on. This is actually Cedric. Let's see. Yo, that man said, "What's up, my boy?
Not much, man. So, hold on.
How you doing, brother?" So Cedric is FaceTiming me real quick. I got Damoy on the other thing over here. We got two brothers in the house from the fucking Castle Club. What is up?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. What's
Yo,
going on, my man?
my gosh, man, how you doing, brother? Ced?
I'm all right, brother. Just over here chilling, man. Doing some running around right now with the kids. So I figured I might let me pull off to the side, man. Let me go ahead and handle some business with my brothers real quick, man.
Hell yeah, dude. So when I finish up this podcast with Damoy, you down to hop in?
Yeah, bro.
Fuck yeah, we could do like a quick little 3-piece here, but I'm gonna give you your individual attention too. You know what I mean? I gotta make sure all the brothers is up.
Man, I just want to say,
All right, hold on. I'm gonna send you the link real quick, my boy.
All right, cool.
Hell the fuck yeah! Welcome in, brother. Ced.
Send it over. I'll jump in.
All right, there we go. You should see it right now. And then I'm gonna put it on auto. All right, yo, Damoy, we about to get brother Ced in here, man.
No, Ced is definitely an upstanding man, bro. I definitely want to say something when he comes in.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, as soon as he comes in here, catch him up to speed on what we've been talking about. Let's see what my boys got to drop in on this combo here. Just give him a second.
No worries. But this is you're really doing. I said this to you many times, bro. You're actually doing Lord's work.
Hell yeah,
you're
brother.
actually doing Lord's work, because like I said, people need to see. People need someone they can relate to. You know what I'm saying? If they see guys like us, they might be more relatable to us, and they'll be like, "Man, all right, I'm not tripping. Like, this is what I should be doing. Like, this is how the world actually needs to work," and stuff like that. So it'll help them out.
Perfect. He's downloading an app right now, so I understand exactly what he's going through, so I know what to say, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and say what I was saying, right? I appreciate what you were just saying, Damoy. So like me, right? Like if you look at my Instagram, I have literally organized teams. I organize the teams. I put these people into number one positions. Any girl that's ever been with me goes from an average life to being a damn near celebrity. So I'm raising them. I'm putting them in like a celebrity power position. Even my relationship to Fresh and Fit, I have a very large habit of making my friends wealthy. In case you haven't noticed by the fucking Fresh Match show, I really try to lift all my brothers up. I try to put people up, man. That's this ability to raise. For me as an individual, I know it comes from God. It comes from my ability to connect with the Father and say that this let me multiply, not of my own will, but of my ability through you, Father, to put these men and these women up on a high mountain, something far above what I could even know. And the thing about that is that one of the tenements of kingmaking or masculinity, how we were talking about, is that you need to be able to think outside of yourself. And I'm so sick of people in Miami, bro. I'm so sick of, like, when I go out there, all they think about is me. And it's never like, what can I do to make this girl's life better? Because like they won't be like you. They'll use the girl for sex and throw her away. So I got a phone call the other day. I don't know if you heard it, but it was on Twitter. I recorded this crazy phone call from this chick, right? And I really gave her the what for, because she was trying to say, yo, Chris, have you ever been a player? And I told her straight the fuck up, no. I've never been a player. I don't identify. Nah, fuck that. I've never been a fucking player ever, because each and every one of these people I actually care about. At some point, like, I knew their name. I wanted a warm relationship with them. I wanted things to go well. If it did or if it didn't, it was a matter of these dumb bitches not keeping up with me. But in general, like if you go through my IG and you see all these different ladies, if like 3 or 4 of them or whatever wanted a real relationship with me, they could have that with me.
Right.
But if they don't, it's because they fell short, homie. Because they fell short on my journey. Because, like, as a man, when you are doing this masculine experience for Chris, you're on the Chris train, on the Chris tracks, going to the Chris destination. And if you're not on the fucking Chris tracks, on the Chris train to the Chris destination, you're not going to be a part of Chris's life. Because I'm just like you, Damoy. I'm giving this girl everything. She should be able to amplify it. She should be able to put me number one in the relationship while she's number 2. I'm the masculine, you're the feminine. If you can't fucking handle that shit, you're going to fly off that train.
Right, sir. 100%.
And
I learned, and that last part, I learned that mindset. I got introduced to that kind of mentality with Fresh and Fit, and I really thank them for that.
I'm actually gonna I sent the phone call to Fresh and Fit, to all of them. I see all of them, right? Fresh, Myron. I'm gonna send it to you right now, right?
Yep, appreciate that.
Here. So I'll tell you how this happened, right? Like, she called me off a unknown number, right, or a private number or whatever. So she called me, and like, I'm in the shower, and I'm like, this is so stupid. Ain't nobody gonna believe this shit if I don't record it, right? So then, while I'm on the phone, I come over to this computer. I open up the photo booth, and I start recording this shit, right? I'm like in the shower. I'm like in a towel and shit, so I black it out, and then I put like the CapCut captions on top of it so you guys can hear what we're talking about. Because this bitch is a terrorist, bro. She terrorized my shower. I'm like, ain't no one gonna believe this. So yeah, I just send it to you, and you don't have to hear it. You're not gonna be able to hear it right now, unless you can. I don't know if you can. Can you play that on your phone, or are you on the laptop right now? While we're waiting for Brother Said.
Let me see.
Oh shit, I sent it to Said. Fuck. Let me send it to you.
You guys don't hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna send that to you.
I'm gonna say I'm in. Can you hear me, Chris?
Chris, can you hear
Chris can hear.
Yeah, I can hear you. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just double checking.
Hello?
Making sure you got me.
You good?
Yeah, I don't think he hears me, bro.
Chris, can you hear Sid?
Oh no, I don't. Do you hear him?
Yeah, I hear him. He's trying to ask if you hear him.
No, I don't hear him, but let's see if we have. Oh, there, participant. Let's see. Can
you hear me now?
Is he here? All right, let me.
Can you see me?
I think he just came off the call. I think he's trying to come back in.
Can you hear me and see me though?
Yeah, I can see you. Actually, you're kind of frozen right now, but I can hear you. I can't hear you.
His mic's muted.
Oh yeah, your mic's muted, Chris.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Fan freaking tastic. Okay. And then of course with said just needs to turn on his microphone. Said, my brother, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, perfect.
Can you see me?
I see the top of your head.
I think it's frozen.
Yeah,
Hold
it's
on.
frozen.
Just give him a sec. Okay.
There
Now
we go.
I see him. Brother said,
Is it working
we
now?
in here.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Oh, I can't see myself now. It's weird. Hold up. There we go.
There we go.
Hey,
Yeah.
we in
Fellas,
here.
what's happening?
What's good, brother?
Woo!
What's up, boys?
Good,
Hell
good, good.
yeah,
Bro,
man.
I just wanted to say real quick, brother said is an upstanding man, bro. This is a definition of a man that other guys should strive to be, bro. This man has
Bro.
kids. I know he's an earner, and he's lived through that masculine life, bro. He's been through some rough situations. I know because he told us he's been through that. He's looking for better. He joined this club. You know what I'm saying? He's looking for a brotherhood. He's trying to build that community. This is exactly what a man should aspire to be, bro. So I just wanted to say that, and
I'm gonna
thank
add
you,
to that, bro. When I first met this dude, he reminded me of 50 Cent. This dude is a fucking
sir.
hustler. This dude is out here. This dude is in the trenches, my boy. How'd you survive today?
And this is what I'm saying. Like, weak guys will see a man like this and be like, "Yo, how do I get to that guy? How do I become like him? Or how can I take some positive things about him and apply it to my life?" That's what we need to further raise up, masculinity in this world that's trying to like take it away. So I just wanted
Thank
to say
you,
that.
fellas. I really
Brother said, we
appreciate
passing
that,
the mic,
fellas.
bro.
Man, I appreciate that, fellas. Yeah, man, I'm blown away. I appreciate that, man. Much love to y'all boys, man. I'm glad you guys got this going on, man, and I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you, Chris and Damoy. I appreciate both of y'all boys for getting me on here, man.
Yes,
Much
sir.
love, bro. I really appreciate that.
Oh, hell yeah, man. So in terms of the podcast, right? What you just missed is that we were actually talking about like his relationships that he's gone through. We were talking about matchmaker, demoralization, love, what the fucking brainwashing is right now and stuff. So let's go ahead and pass the mic to you, brother, because we are on a live stream right now. Tell them your name, tell them your age, tell them your location, and tell them what you're all about.
Yeah, man. What's going on, everybody? My name is Sid. I'm over here in Port St. Lucie. I'll be 30 in 2 weeks. On the 20th of August is actually my birthday, so I'll be 30 in 2 weeks. I'm an HVAC technician, man. Just doing my thing up here. I'm originally from West Palm Beach. Moved up to Port St. Lucie a couple years ago. Been doing my thing ever since. Um, have a little bit of experience in the car business. Sold some cars for a couple years. Dabbled in real estate a little bit. Just jack of all trades, master of none. You know how that goes. Getting my feet wet in a couple different areas, man.
He
Just
says
trying to
jack
get
of
it
all
wherever I
trades,
can.
master of none. I see a one-man army.
No, man. I like having a team. I got a team of guys, man. It's a bunch of us going, man. I can't say it's just me, but I will say that all of us we are good at moving alone, but when we get together, it's unstoppable, man. We make stuff happen. We make sure we take care of each other.
One of the things that me and Damoy were just talking about is like we've noticed that we're talking about the women part right now, right? We're talking about every aspect, but like in terms of the women, our younger, beautiful American women that we care about so much, they're definitely being brainwashed in certain areas of demoralization, right? Something you and me will talk about on the next stream, which will be today. But where in your life, Said, do you think that these women are being demoralized or brainwashed? Like what is lacking in the feminine experience, and what is the feminine experience right now?
Honestly, I see a lot of the feminine movement is horrible. It's obviously killing the fucking my bad. I cuss a lot, so
You can do that on here. We're on Rumble, baby.
all right, cool. I feel like the feminine movements, man, killing a lot of the women who are truly looking for a man, right? Because it's actually teaching them to not have to worry about being with a man, not needing a man. Like pushing that thought process onto them is literally killing their their odds to get a man, right? Because what's gonna happen is with them constantly feeling that whole independent, I want to be a boss babe, this, that, and the third, it's going to drive a lot of men away, right? Because at the end of the day, us as men, we want to be providers, right? We feel good providing. We actually derive true pleasure by providing for someone, whether it's another woman, whether it's for our kids, whether it's for a tribe. You know what I mean? So that whole movement of like independence and everything is just getting worse and worse. You know, there's not many role models for soft-spoken women anymore. Everybody wants to be. I mean, look at how they're doing the kids, right? What Miss America, Captain America, not Captain America.
Captain
Wonder
Marvel.
Woman, yeah, Captain Marvel, and all this stuff. Like, turn a lot of the boys into girls and girls into boys. Like, it's there's no separation, and I feel like that's what we're losing right now is a separation.
So in contrast to that, what do you think the feminine experience for a young woman in America should be today? I'm gonna refresh the page while you talk and let's see what happens.
What I believe the feminine experience should be.
Yeah, what it should be.
So the feminine experience, in my opinion, should be, the man provided for the woman, and the woman being the yin to the yang, right? I feel like what they should be doing is kind of supporting, right? If we're going out to war, we're going out to fight the war, and obviously we're not fucking guns a blazing, you know what I'm saying, every day and things like that, but war in our own concepts. We're out here fighting, providing for the family, doing what we need to do, working when we don't want to work. I want to come home to peace, right? And I feel like as a man, if I'm going to be the provider, I want to be able to come home and not have to. I want to take my shields off, put my sword down, put my guns down, and then have my wounds attended to. You know what I mean? Happy home. I want to like create the peace. And for a woman, I think she should be supporting her man wherever he needs fit. You know what I mean? Everybody's different. Every man is different what they need as far as support wise. But I feel like they should definitely be like more of a support system than the head of a house. You know what I mean? They're number two. The man should be number one. That's pretty much what I think personally.
I completely agree with that. Real quick, can you see said Damoy?
No, he says he's like a still picture.
Okay, but you can still see a picture of him?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
So
this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let you guys finish up here. Just shoot me a text with the stream link whenever you're ready for me. Because I'm kind of watching my kids at the same time. Go ahead and do that, bro, and then let me know whenever you're ready for me, bro.
It'll be soon, my brother. I'll let you know.
For sure, brother. I'll talk to you guys later.
Yep.
All right.
Bro.
Soon.
All right.